A big hearing is taking place before Judge Aileen Cannon today in the Mar-A-Lago document case where Donald Trump has been charged with the willful retention of national defense information, and he, along with his co-defendants, Waltine Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira, were charged with obstruction of justice. Donald Trump and special counsel Jack Smith are at this hearing to discuss the trial date, which is currently scheduled for May 20th of 2024. And both special counsel Jack Smith and Donald Trump are requesting different trial dates than the one that is currently set, which we've been telling you here was never a realistic trial date. Special counsel Jack Smith is requesting a new trial date of July 8th. 2024. Donald Trump and his co-defendant Carlos de Oliveira are saying that there shouldn't be any trial date in 2024 and that it would be unfair given his run for the office of the presidency for the MAGA Republican Party. But Donald Trump and Carlos de Oliveira say if the court is inclined to set a trial date to select August 12th of 2024, and Waltine Nauta, the co-defendant, the other co-defendant of Donald Trump's, is requesting a separate trial of September 9th, 2024. Hard to imagine there that the court's going to sever Waltine Nauta from the other co-defendants. That would seem to be entirely inefficient. Let's take a look at special counsel Jack Smith's filing. I want to take a look at Donald Trump's filing. And Donald Trump also, even though he said it, he's saying this August 12th, 2024 date. I want to be very clear. He spends most of his filing saying that there should not be any trial date in 2024, and then also references the Supreme Court's granting of certiorari on his argument of absolute presidential immunity in the Washington, D.C. federal criminal case, because like the D.C. criminal case, in the Florida criminal case against Donald Trump before Judge Aileen Cannon, Donald Trump is also making an assertion of absolute presidential immunity in connection with a motion to dismiss. So Donald Trump saying that Judge Aileen Cannon should take guidance from what the Supreme Court is doing in slowing down the Washington, D.C. federal criminal case. Wait to see what the Supreme Court does there to inform her on her decision-making with respect to Donald Trump's motion to dismiss the criminal indictment in Florida. And to be clear, what Donald Trump's argument is, and this is not disputed, this is not my spin of it, Trump is saying that under the Presidential Records Act, while he was in office, he claims that not only were the classified documents listed in the indictment essentially declassified, but they also belonged to him, and that he declared nuclear secrets, war plans, and other really sensitive national defense information and other classified information. He declared that this is personal, it belongs to him and not the government, and by telepathically declassifying and declaring it personal, and that he claims that he has the absolute right to do that, and he did that while he was in office. He claims that can't be questioned. So according to Trump, anyone who's the president, President Biden, for example, now could go and claim any nuclear record as his and not belonging to we the people, and then claim there's actually a doctrine of absolute presidential immunity, which then would prevent any criminal case being brought against somebody in office for making that designation as personal and having the intent to take it. I mean, it's such a dangerous dictatorial argument that should just be rejected immediately. But sadly, elections have consequences, and Trump put 3 Supreme Court justices on that bench. You combine that with other 3 right-wing Supreme Court justices, and they're running the show. They're taking away reproductive rights. They're taking away the separation of church and state. They're taking away common sense gun protections. They are gutting Voting Rights Act. They're gutting Civil Rights Acts. This is the modern day MAGA Republican Supreme Court as a result of Hillary Clinton not prevailing and Donald Trump winning in 2016 and appointing 3 justices and MAGA Republicans dating back to Mitch McConnell, who MAGA Republicans now hate, and they call him a Democrat and say that Mitch McConnell is the Democrat from Ukraine. That's how MAGA Republicans refer to Mitch McConnell. That's how unhinged it is. He prevented Barack Obama, President Obama, former President Obama, from appointing justices. Okay, so here's the order. Here's the proposed order from Jack Smith. Attached to this pleading is the government's proposed schedule for going forward, culminating in a new trial date of July 8th, 2024. A feature the government has built into its schedule is monthly status conferences. This will permit the court to ensure the parties are meeting their deadlines the court sets. The schedule does not yet set a date for filings by the parties in support of their positions on the draft jury questionnaire, or a date for the clerk's office to mail the questionnaires. The court will be in a better position to assess the timing of the former after reviewing the parties' joint filing from February 28th. The court can then set briefing on the questionnaire concurrently with one of the briefing schedules in the government's attachments. That's signed by Special Counsel Jack Smith. You take a look at defendants' proposed schedule. This is Trump's, Carlos de Oliveira, and Waltine Nauta. And what Trump says here in his filing is that he claims that given his status as the presumptive Republican nominee, he claims that any trial this year would be inappropriate and say would also violate the Justice Manual, which applies to the Special Counsel's office, which prohibits actions that may have an impact on an election. Just pause there. How'd you sleep last night? If you answered not so great, just okay, or don't ask, you're not alone. 1 out of 3 Americans report being sleep deprived, and your sheets could be the problem. The wrong sheets can trap body heat, leaving you boiling 1 minute and freezing the next. The solution? Cozy Earth bedding. Cozy Earth bedding helped make sure I had an incredible night's sleep. The sheets are so soft and breathable. You'll love them just as much as I do. Cozy Earth is a life-changing luxury. Cozy Earth's best-selling bamboo sheet is made from 100% premium viscose from bamboo, which makes them naturally temperature regulating and breathable, so you'll sleep more comfortably all year round. Cozy Earth sheets are uniquely soft and only get softer with every wash. Cozy Earth is the brand that made Oprah's Favorite Things 5 years in a row. Cozy Earth comes with a 100-night sleep trial, which means you have up to 100 nights to sleep on them, wash them, try them out. If you're not completely in love, just return them within 100 days for a full refund. And all of their products also include a 10-year warranty against defects, whether it's their luxury bedding, ultra-comfortable loungewear, plus bath towels and more. You'll love shopping at Cozy Earth. If you've never tried Cozy Earth, I've got some great news. You can save up to 35% off Cozy Earth right now, but hurry, this offer won't last. Go to CozyEarth.com/Meidas and enter our promo code Meidas at checkout for up to 35% off. That's CozyEarth.com/Meidas, MEIDAS. Use that promo code Meidas. That's CozyEarth.com/Meidas. This action was filed a long time ago. The fact that Judge Aileen Cannon did not set this trial in a speedy way. Let's be clear, this case was filed well within the time frame it was permitted to be filed in. And let's face it too, this is an important case for the very essence of, are we a country that values the rule of law? Are we a country of law and order, or are we a country of dictators? And it is sickening that our Supreme Court's even considering this question. It takes 4 Supreme Court justices, by the way, to grant certiorari. So you have 3 that Trump appointed. You just needed 1 other for them to grant certiorari on the issue of absolute presidential immunity. Let me explain to you why that is important in a moment. Trump says while he thinks there should not be any trial in 2024, he goes on to say that Trump respects the court issued an order directing the parties to submit scheduling proposals Through recently filed motions to compel disclosures and to dismiss the indictment, Trump seeks to timely vindicate important rights through these proceedings, including his motions to dismiss pursuant to the Presidential Records Act and presidential immunity. That's what I just kind of described earlier in this video. Then Trump cites what the Supreme Court just did and said, in addition, yesterday's order by the Supreme Court agreeing to review the D.C. Circuit's erroneous decision in the United States v. Trump was an important step toward the protection of the U.S. Constitution and the fair system of justice that Trump seeks in this district and elsewhere. The justice's anticipated ruling will provide guidance as Your Honor evaluates Trump's motion to dismiss based on presidential immunity. So what Trump's saying is, wait to watch what the Supreme Court does. That should inform your ruling. So it is a bit of a ruse, to be clear. You may have heard people say, well, Trump's asking for this date on August 12th for trial. What's going on with that? It's a ruse. He's picking a date that he knows will never happen. He's picking that date there as well, knowing that if you stick it in August, even if there's some potential for the Washington, D.C. case to be set, that this case on August 12th before Judge Cannon would be there as a way to try to block other cases. Also, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis was requesting that the Georgia case take place in August. So what Trump's really doing here is, knowing that this case will never go to trial in August, allowing Judge Aileen Cannon to set a date to try to block the other trial dates in that August period, create this ruse that trial would, that he's okay with trial on August 12th, but then also saying throughout this, which should be a very basic proposed schedule, you saw how simple special counsel Jack Smith is, Trump basically whining and saying it's unfair to go to trial in 2024. But if we must go to trial, let's do it in August. But he goes, but there's so many buts here. But let's wait till what the Supreme Court does. And also, Trump's filed so many frivolous motions to dismiss. There's no way, in my view, that Judge Aileen Cannon's going to be able to make rulings on any of those in the next 30 to 60 days, based on the fact that it takes her forever to make rulings on very basic SEPA-type motions. Trump says that he respectfully submits these following dates for consideration. And when you look at the dates, he lists various primaries as claiming that there are conflicts there. And then he puts August 12th for his trial date. And then Walty Nauta, September 9th, 2024. You know, and I'll say this, though. What would be interesting to me is if Judge Aileen Cannon ultimately denies Donald Trump's absolute immunity argument, which is an absurd argument to make, and then the 11th Circuit steps in. I think the 11th Circuit may find that it doesn't even have jurisdiction to hear an interlocutory appeal, unlike what the D.C. Circuit didn't do. The D.C. Circuit found it had jurisdiction, issued a powerful 50-plus page ruling, only for the Supreme Court to take its time and not make any meaningful ruling, and then setting certiorari or granting certiorari and setting the oral argument for April 22nd, which is just so utterly absurd. So while those dates are technically being proposed by Jack Smith and Donald Trump, my own view, I don't see the Florida case happening in 2024. I don't see the D.C. case happening in 2024. I don't see the Georgia case happening in 2024. The Manhattan District Attorney case is going March 25th, 2024. That will go. And then so by May, the question is, Donald Trump can be, based on the Manhattan District Attorney criminal case, a convicted felon in that case, and be $500 million or have $500 million against him in judgments. Remember, he hasn't been able to come up with the money to post bond. And these civil cases, give credit to E. Jean Carroll and her lawyers for the $83.3 million verdict, and before that, the $5 million verdict. Give credit to New York Attorney General Letitia James for holding Donald Trump accountable for nearly $500 million in a verdict there in the civil fraud case before Justice Arthur Engoron, where the appellate division rejected Donald Trump's attempt to stay enforcement there. So that's the lay of the land right now, folks. We'll keep you posted every step of the way here on the MeidasTouch Network. Thank you for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million subscribers together and have a wonderful day.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.